Donald Trump has spent years turning court appearances into political rallies, transforming legal troubles into campaign talking points, and convincing millions of supporters that every investigation is nothing more than a political attack. But this time, something feels different. This time, the stakes appear higher, the pressure seems heavier, and even some of Trump's closest allies are beginning to ask uncomfortable questions. Because while Trump continues projecting confidence in public, a growing storm has been building behind the scenes. Courtrooms that once seemed like temporary obstacles are becoming permanent fixtures in his daily life. Legal bills are mounting. Key allies are facing pressure. Critical rulings are approaching. And with the election cycle moving forward at full speed, every courtroom battle threatens to become a political disaster. The question is no longer whether Trump can survive another legal challenge. The question is whether all these challenges combined are creating a crisis that even he cannot escape. And what happened during the latest court developments has many observers believing that Trump's problems may be entering an entirely new phase. The courtroom returns to center stage. For months, Americans have watched Trump move back and forth between campaign events and court appearances. One day he's speaking before cheering crowds. The next day he's sitting inside a courtroom while attorneys argue over evidence, procedures, and legal strategy. This unusual reality has created one of the most extraordinary political moments in modern American history. Never before has a major presidential contender faced so many legal battles while simultaneously running a national campaign. Yet tear-but legal experts continue pointing out a difficult reality. Court politics. But inside a courtroom, facts, evidence, witness testimony, and judicial decisions carry far greater weight. And that's exactly why recent developments have attracted so much attention. Because some analysts believe Trump is confronting challenges that cannot simply be solved through messaging and public relations. Pressure from all directions. One of the biggest issues facing Trump isn't necessarily a single lawsuit or a single hearing. It's the accumulation of pressure. Think about it. Every legal case demands time. Every court appearance requires preparation. Every motion requires attorneys. Every appeal requires resources. Every ruling creates new uncertainties. Individual together, however, they create a situation unlike anything seen in recent presidential politics. Observers have noted that Trump's legal team often finds itself fighting multiple battles at the same time. While preparing for one hearing, attorneys may also be responding to developments in another case. While addressing one judge's ruling, they may simultaneously be planning strategy elsewhere. The result is a constant cycle of legal defense that never seems to end. And critics argue that this endless legal struggle is exactly the kind of pressure that can slowly weaken even the most resilient public figure. A critical moment approaches. As recent court proceedings unfolded, attention quickly shifted toward what might happen next. Because legal battles are rarely decided by dramatic television moments. Instead, outcomes are often shaped by a series of smaller decisions that gradually build toward major consequences. A procedural ruling here, an evident A scheduling decision, a witness issue, a document request. Each development may appear minor on its own, but collectively they can reshape an entire case. This is why analysts carefully examine every court hearing. They aren't simply watching for immediate outcomes. They're searching for signs of momentum. And according to several legal observers, recent developments have raised new questions about whether momentum is beginning to shift in ways that could create serious complications for Trump. The political risk. Of course, legal danger is only part of the story. The other part is political. Every hour spent in court is an hour not spent campaigning. Every legal headline competes with campaign messaging. Every courtroom development becomes another opportunity for opponents to attack. Trump has long demonstrated an extraordinary ability to dominate news cycles. But even he cannot fully control how legal proceedings unfold. Judges issue rulings. Attorneys make arguments. Witnesses provide testimony. Documents become public. And once these processes begin moving forward, political spin often has limited influence over the outcome. That's real. Not necessarily because they doubt Trump's popularity, but because they understand that uncertainty creates risk, and prolonged legal uncertainty can create a great deal of risk. The supporters remain loyal despite these challenges. Trump's supporters continue standing firmly behind him, and many view him as a victim of selective prosecution. Many argue that the legal system is being used as a political weapon. As a result, every new legal battle often strengthens loyalty among portions of his base. This dynamic has repeatedly surprised political analysts. Predictions of political collapse have emerged numerous times over the years, yet Trump has consistently remained a dominant force within Republican politics. That history makes current developments particularly fascinating because supporters see resilience, critics see vulnerability, and both sides believe the evidence supports their position. The real disaster may not be what people expect. When people hear the word disaster, they often imagine a single dramatic event, a shocking ruling, a major conviction, a devastating courtroom moment. But some analysts argue that Trump's biggest danger may look very different. The real disaster may be cumulative, the gradual drain of time, the constant financial burden, the endless cycle of legal battles, the distractions, the uncertainty, the inability to fully focus on a national campaign while simultaneously fighting multiple legal fronts. It builds quietly, it expands over time, and sometimes its effects become visible only after months of accumulation. That possibility is exactly why recent court developments have generated so much discussion. Because even if no single hearing changes everything, each new challenge adds another layer of pressure. And eventually, pressure reaches a breaking point, an unpredictable future. The truth is that nobody knows exactly how these legal battles will end. Supporters remain confident. Opponents remain hopeful. Legal experts continue debating possible outcomes. Political strategists continue calculating risks. But one fact is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Trump's future is now tied not only to campaign rallies and voter enthusiasm, but also to court schedules, legal rulings, and judicial decisions. That reality represents one of the most extraordinary chapters in modern American politics. And as new developments continue emerging, the question grows larger with every passing week. Can Trump once again overcome challenges that many believe would destroy any other political career? Or is he approaching a moment when the combined weight of these legal battles finally becomes too much to manage? Because if recent events are any indication, the next phase of this story could be even more dramatic than anything we've seen so far.